Hey guys, so a few people have been asking some questions about the game I've been working on. Thought I'd do a quick video, kind of break down the features. This is the main menu. Some ships are just shooting each other in the backgrounds. And we'll jump right in. This is the game I've been working on for a couple of years, on and off. Took a few months break in the middle, maybe an hour or two a night on average. A bit over the weekends. Maybe like a few hundred hours development time at this point. It's hard really to track. It's had a few iterations. Artwork's been overhauled recently. Changed the entire render pipeline for these shield shaders that you can see in front of me. Originally it was going to be more of a slow-paced space kind of simulation game like Star Sector, like Elite Dangerous, games of that kind of nature. Now it's, with the combat system I've been making, it's kind of changed into an RPG, an ARPG, kind of like Diablo 2, Path of the Exile, Chronicon, those kind of genre of games. It's entirely single player. It's going to have a single player campaign you play through where you slowly upgrade your ship, level up, unlock skills, do different builds, things like that you would expect in an ARPG. That's all going to live in the play button. You create a character as you would in an ARPG. Starts from scratch. This will be Sector 1. There'll be 3 or 4 sectors, each with a boss at the end, and then at some point we'll add difficulty like Nightmare Hell, like Diablo 2 had. This will be Sector 1. It's currently randomly generated with a few fixed locations, which you can see as the dots. These are kind of like trade hubs, waypoints that you keep for every play session. And there'll be some bosses that spawn in here. Load in, this is your starting ship. This is a Conclave Dart. Little ship, small machine gun. Kind of reminiscent of the old Asteroid game. This is a UI for equipment. You can see we've got kinetic deflector shield. Currently no resistances or anything fancy on it, it's just common items, a basic small thruster and a basic machine gun to begin with. And the idea is you'll work your way through the tutorial through the first couple of stars, and then you'll get missions branching out from here with various bosses to fight for loot. There'll be bosses off these waypoints, and there'll be a final boss along here somewhere which will unlock Sector 2. When you complete Sector 2 you go to Sector 3, when you complete Sector 3 so on. When you've completed all the sectors you can change it to Nightmare difficulty and continue to progress, and then Hell difficulty, as is standard with these kind of ARPG games. So this is what the game looks like. You fly through. Each of these sectors is connected by jump gates. So these are the jump gates that connect. You use these to travel through one sector to the next. See, this one's got 3 enemies in it because this is going to be the tutorial sector. It'll be the first star you hit. So the tutorial will guide you through killing these enemies when it's all in place. For now, here comes one of them. So, and then the game will progress from there. There's not much in the actual content side of the game at the moment because I've mostly been working on the engine and the cogs that will make it all work in the end. So we'll jump back out. Sandbox, this won't be in the final game, this is just for testing. I can spawn a few enemies, give them different items, different weapons, set up my own ship, pick the type of ship, pick the colour. There's various scales of ship. You've got the Arrow, which is the first upgrade you'll get, then they go into kind of like slightly bigger, like the Falcon, like the Hawk. These are kind of like medium range ships. Go slightly bigger still into the Pegasus, kind of Manticore. These are the larger ships. At the moment I have the Artemis, which is the biggest ship. There's many slots. Just for testing, throw a few enemy darts in, set their level to 10, common, difficulty normal. This is the rarity of the items you get given at the start. This is the level. Different items you have. Set up the world plate. So this is sandbox testing, so this would be what a level 10 player would be like with all common items. You see he's got a cold resistant deflector shield. He's got Stalker missile launcher, it's kind of like a homing missile, does heat damage, can set things on fire. Radium laser, radiation damage. Radiation's like a poison dot that stacks damage over time once the shield's down. Got the Hornet drone launcher, which is going to be for like your summoner type ships. You'll summon little Hornet drones that'll attack the enemy. So these are going to come in one by one and start attacking me. So develop a console. Enable God mode so they can't kill me. You'll see this guy will come in, start shooting me. He's quite angry. my lasers. You can see his shield goes down, and he blows up, and he drops some loot. So, tractor in the loot. Have a look what we got. This is a molecular shield, slightly different type of shield. This one's radiation resistance type. Throw that on. See, it's got, when I get hit, it's got a slightly different shield shader, so it looks slightly different. As the ship comes in, it's more of like a spider web design. I'll shoot this guy. So in addition to lasers, I give myself a light blaster. This is a seeking projectile. It's cold type, so it freezes enemies. And you'll see these little projectiles seek onto enemies as they come in. Just nearest valid target. Makes it easier to aim. Grab that credits. You see you have credits in the top corner. Those will be used to buy things, so on. So all the enemies will drop kind of like credits and items. So this is nearest target. You also have homing missiles, which when they go out, kind of like lock onto your lock target and circle round and attack. Then the drones. This is for my summoner kind of playstyle. So these little guys will go in and attack people who attack you. We go catch this guy over here. Follow the sensor arrow. He's running away. There he is. You see, locked on, and the drones will fly in and start attacking him. As you get higher level, drone launchers, rare, legendary drone launchers will obviously summon more enemies. So for like rare legendary items, I've got currently one legendary item. It's called a Death Ray. And it's for testing. It's a radium laser. So you'll get your legendary rare items and you have to scan them, which is kind of like identifying an item. It tells you what stats it's got. See the artwork kind of changes there. So if we throw this on, it's got some silly high stats. That's pretty good for getting crystals. Obviously that's because the item has 1000% crystal salvaging, which obviously slightly modifies the drop rate of crystals from asteroids. As the enemies come in, you'll see this just demolishes them. That guy dropped a rare item, so I can fly in and take that. Give it a scan. You see it's got some better stats than the generic item. Requires level 9, so go grab that now. It's a slightly better missile launcher. I'll get my drones back out because we changed item setup so drones despawn. There's them. Rare small thruster we can throw on there. So this is how the game will basically progress. Slowly upgrade your items as you kill things, you'll farm for loot. There'll be a skill kind of tree here, well, a few skill trees where you can go down like tanking kind of speciality, glass cannon kind of DPS, summoners, other playstyles you generally see in these sort of games. You can choose how you want to build your ship, what type of ship you're going to aim for, what kind of items you want, and so forth. The whole game, this is playing with a mouse and keyboard right now. When we bring up the menus, it's all supports controllers. You see I'm just using the arrow keys there to navigate about. So everything should be doable with a controller. If we have a release on console or if you prefer to play with a controller. In addition to that, we've also got, from the base, touch controls. So if we ever launch on mobile, we support these kind of touch controls, which you can play with. We have no plans to launch on mobile, but I just wanted that in from the beginning. You can see the lasers kind of auto-aim on mobile to make it slightly easier. If you put this in from the beginning, it makes it easier to do later. So we have support for touch controls, should that ever be required. Lots of settings, pretty much. If I wasn't sure about anything, it's just become a setting in here. To ramp the bloom right up if you really like glowy things, I guess. The crystals are all glowy now. It's a bit much, but yeah. That's pretty much where this game's at the moment. Next up is just kind of developing more enemies, so we're going to make some insectoid enemies. I'll put them into the Sector 1. Let's go back to menu. The Sector 1's going to be kind of like insectoid style aliens that you kill. Varying types, drop various loot. Once they're all in and the loot's in, and we've got a few bosses and things, it's probably going to go into open playtests, so you can just download it on Steam for free and give it a test. Once it's a bit more polished, a bit more finished, we'll probably go into some sort of early access. As it's only like a single player game, we're not really looking at a high price point or anything like that when it does finally release, so similar kind of price point to like games like Chronicon and stuff. No ETA on anything yet, just kind of plodding along with it most evenings, and I'll keep posting updates.